There are two containers of the same volume. First container half filled with sugar syrup. Let's say this is the first container. This is half filled with sugar syrup. And the second container half filled with milk. We have milk only. Half the content of the first container, half the content of the first container is transferred to the second container. That means after the first transfer, the second container, this is second container. This was the first container. We'll have some milk and some sugar syrup, and then half of this mixture is transferred back to the first container. Next, half the content of first container is transferred back to the second container. Then the ratio of sugar syrup and milk in the second container is how much? That means after all the three transfers, both the containers will have some sugar syrup and some milk. I need to transfer half of amount how many times? Three times. That means every time I'll have to use a multiplying factor of 1 by 2. How many times? Three times. So it will give you 1 by 8. So it's better to take the quantity equal to a multiple of 8. Let's assume that the first container has got 80 liters of sugar syrup and the second container has got 80 liters of milk initially. So let's make it a table here. First container, second container. I'll have sugar syrup and milk. In second container, I had milk and sugar syrup. So initially, the first container will have 80 liters of sugar syrup and 0 liters of milk. Fine. And the second will have 80 liters of milk and 0 liters of sugar syrup. What happened? The first container half filled with sugar syrup and the second container half filled with milk. Half the content of the first container is transferred to the second container. So I'm going to transfer half of this here. That means after the first transfer, I'll be left with 40 liters of sugar syrup, 0 of milk in the first container, while second container will have 80 liters of milk and 40 liters of sugar syrup. This will happen after the first transfer. Yes or no? Now you need to transfer half the quantity from second container into the first one. Now second container effectively contains total 120 liters. I'm going to transfer half of this. That means 60 liters will be transferred to what? The first container. Now look at the ratio here. Milk and sugar syrup are in the ratio of 2 to 1. So out of that 60, again, the ratio of milk and sugar syrup will be 2 to 1. So in those 60 liters, I'm going to transfer 40 liters of milk here and the remaining 20 will be sugar syrup. So now, after second transfer, the first container will have 60 liters of sugar syrup and 40 liters of milk. And here, I'll be left with 40 liters of milk and 20 liters of sugar syrup after the second transfer. This was the second transfer. Now, I need to transfer half the content of the first container back to what? The second container. Now, the first container contains 60 plus 40, that is 100 liters. So I'm going to transfer 50 liters out of that into the second container. Yes or no? And I also know that the first container contains sugar syrup in the ratio of 6 is to 4. That is 3 is to 2. So out of those 50 liters, which I'm going to transfer from the first container to second, sugar syrup and milk will be in the ratio of 3 is to 2. That means 30 liters will be transferred from here. So how much sugar syrup will be left? 60 minus 30 will be 30. And how much milk will be left? 20. 30 liters of sugar syrup will be added here. That is now the sugar syrup will become 20 plus 30. That is 50. And 20 liters of milk will be transferred here. So now it becomes 40 plus 20. That is 60. Yes or no? Now what's the question? The ratio of the sugar syrup and milk in the second container. Sugar syrup is 50 and milk will be 60. So the answer has to be 5 is to 6. Answer should be the first option. It was a simple question based on removal and replacement.